What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talk Sports with Jake. Hope you're all doing well. So quickly, we're gonna announce the Rookie of the Years in both leagues, in the American League and National League for Major League Baseball. They are both announced the other day. I think it was maybe last night. American League was pretty obvious. Nick Kurtz, first baseman from the Athletics. Incredible year last year. Hit 290, 36 home runs, most by any rookie last year, 86 RBIs. 383 on base, 619 slugging, OPS just over 1,000. This is a ridiculous year for Nick Kurtz. Absolute star already in this league. Not even his 23rd birthday. Huge year for Nick Kurtz, 36 home runs as a rookie. He wins American League Rookie of the Year. National League, it was Drake Baldwin. This one was much closer. It was between him and Kate Horton, the Cubs starting pitcher. Horton got hurt at the very end of the season. If he had stayed healthy all the way through, may have been a difference. But Baldwin had a really good year for the Braves with 274, 19 home runs, 80 RBIs, 340 on base, 810 OPS, and was solid defensively behind the plate for Atlanta as well. Still only going to be 25 next year. Drake Baldwin was National League Rookie of the Year at the Atlanta Braves. Catcher, the Manager of the Year were announced as well. In the National League, it was once again Pat Murphy for the second straight season. Led the Brewers to 97 wins, a franchise record for the Milwaukee Brewers, best record in the all of baseball. Of course, ended up falling to the Dodgers, got swept by them in the National League Championship Series. Pat Murphy was National League Manager of the Year. In the American League, it was Stephen Vogt, who won it for the second straight season. I think he was the first manager ever to win Manager of the Year in his first two seasons as a manager. Uh, Cleveland had that crazy month of September to steal the American Central away from the Detroit Tigers. Probably should have been John Schneider in Toronto. I did pick vote. My reasoning, part of my reasoning was, I mean, Toronto wanted the Schneider fired for years. Hell, even in like May, they wanted the guy fired. But he did rebound, took a team that last year was a 74 win ball club. 20 win improvement. They were in Game 7 of the World Series. But Vogt ends up winning the Manager of the Year for the second year in a row. But we'll talk some basketball real quick. Breaking news that broke last night. The Dallas Mavericks fired General Manager Nico Harrison. Of course, Nico Harrison has gotten a lot of flack for the just ridiculous Luka Doncic trade last year, just shocking the world. Last year, right in the middle of the season, traded Luka Doncic to the Lakers for Anthony Davis in the draft pick. Just a ridiculous, ridiculous trade. Uh, so I want to do a full scope here of not just that trade, but we're going to talk about the Luka trade, how ridiculous that was. Really, really explain it to all you guys and gals watching. But this is ESPN put up this graphic. I'm not going to show the graphic. It will look weird on the Zoom. I'm just going to read off of it. It showed all the players that Nico Harrison traded and brought in, all the draft picks that he traded and brought in. So these are players that he sent out. This is from 2021 until as of yesterday. These are players he traded away, along with, of course, Luka Doncic, Josh Richardson, Kristaps Porzingis, Trey Burke, Boban Marjanovic, Sterling Brown, Marquise Chris, Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, Davis Bertans, Reggie Bullock, Grant Williams, Steph Curry, Rashawn Holmes, Tim Hardaway Jr., and Josh Green. So keep in mind, he also traded he traded Dinwiddie and Finney-Smith for Kyrie Irving. Porzingis he just sent away. He just didn't fit next to Luka at that time. A bunch of these guys are kind of just roster fillers that he just sent away, just send them away. Like Davis Bertans never returned into anything. Grant Williams was a guy that he signed to a 4-year deal, didn't really work, and then ended up trading him to Charlotte just to get him get him out of the locker room. Rashawn Holmes he traded away to move up to draft Derek Lively 2 years ago. Hardaway last year he just sent away to Detroit because he knew he was. I guess he just didn't want to pay him. Uh, these are players that he brought in. Moses Brown, technically he did originally trade for Dinwiddie. And like I said, he traded him for Kyrie Irving. Bertans he traded for and then he traded away. Christian Wood's another guy he brought in. Kyrie Irving, Markieff Morris, Rashawn Holmes, who we ended up sending away for Derek Lively. Grant Williams, who he did a Simon trade with Boston, ended up trading to Charlotte about a year later. PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford, Quentin Grimes, Clay Thompson, Anthony Davis, Max Crosby, Caleb Martin. Of course, AD and Max Crosby he got for Luka Doncic. He did trade for Quentin Grimes. But then sent them away to Philadelphia for Caleb Martin, which didn't make any sense. That was a stupid trade. And then Clay Thompson's assignment trade with Golden State. He picked him up last year. That's players he acquired. These are the draft picks that he traded. Uh, uh, Patiri Capone doesn't know who that is. This is a late pick. He had a trade to the Knicks. He traded a second rounder in 2022 to Washington. In 2023, he traded the first round to the Thunder. In 2024, he traded a first rounder to Washington that was originally the Thunder's pick. He traded Arahu Porty to the Knicks. He's now the Knicks starting center. He traded a second round to Sacramento. 2025 pick he traded away. He traded a second round to Philly, along with Quentin Grimes to get Caleb Martin. Good lord. Traded a second round to the Pistons. That was originally the Raptors pick to get Tim Hardaway Jr. off of his team. Hardaway had a pretty good year last year in Detroit, coming off the bench. And then these are picks, future picks that he's traded. He's no longer even the GM of Dallas. He traded a top two protected first to Charlotte in 27, a second round to Brooklyn. In 2028, he traded swap rights to the Thunder, a second round to Sacramento, a second round that will go to either Charlotte or the Clippers. He traded a second rounder to Toronto that was originally Miami's pick. And in 2029, he sent down a second round to Brooklyn and a first round to either Brooklyn or the Houston Rockets. Just yikes. And these are the picks that he brought in. Picks he either acquired or picks that he used. He drafted Jaden Hardy with an acquired pick in 2022. With the pick he got for Rashawn Holmes, he did draft Derek Lively in 2023. He took Oliver Max Prosper. I don't know who that is in 2023. He got a first rounder from the Thunder in 24, ended up sending it away. He got a second rounder from Boston that year as well. He took a dude named Melvin Ajinça in 2024 in the second round. No idea who the guy even is. This past year, he got a second round from Toronto and Denver. Draft that just happened. And he also picked up two seconds in 2028, and the one from the Lakers in 2029. That's the pick he got for Luka. A first rounder in 2029. So he basically picked up a ninth grader for Luka Doncic, along with AD, who's old and injury prone, and Max Christie, and a second rounder from the Sixers in 2030. So we got Caleb Martin, a second rounder in 2030 for Quentin Grimes, and there was another pick in there that he moved. I think it was a second rounder this year. So overall, pretty bad. Like even the moves that did work out, like getting Kyrie Irving and then re-signing him has worked out, but older. He's currently out for torn ACL. I heard he might get traded now. Like Daniel Gafford was a good move. PJ Washington was a good move. He just got an extension. Clay wasn't a bad move. Um, but just look the guys he gave away. Along with Luka, obviously. Porzingis just won a championship with the Celtics 2 years ago. He's a really good player. He traded him away for nothing. Grant Williams isn't a horrible player that he sent away. Hardaway to package him with a pick to get him off a team didn't really make a whole lot of sense. Just to send Josh Greenway just to send him away didn't make a whole lot of sense. Like the picks, he traded away a lot of picks. One turned into Arahu Porty, who's the Knicks starting center. It was a very late round pick last year. I mean, they have some decent depth down low with Derek Lively. But PJ Washington is a small ball center. He fits more as a power forward. But he would have been nice to have. Look at the guys he acquired. Moses Brown wasn't any good. Dinwiddie, he traded for Kyrie. Bertan wasn't very good. Christian Wood was good for like a year there, then kind of fell off. Kyrie is currently hurt. Marquise Morris is a roster filler for Sean Holmes. He ended up trading away for Derek Lively. Grant Williams was there for like half a season. PJ Washington was a good move, as was Daniel Gafford. Quentin Grimes he ended up trading away for, along with a draft pick for freaking Caleb Martin. Clay Thompson he put in last year. It's a low risk move, but he hasn't exactly been super productive. AD he got for Luka, as he did Max Christie. We already talked about Caleb Martin. And the only really no notable draft pick he's made is Derek Lively, the center from a couple years ago. Jaden Hardy hasn't returned to anything. Max Prosper is lucky to be in the league, and that's about it. Just a horrible tenure for Nico Harrison. Let's talk about the Luka Doncic trade. On top of that, Luka is one of the best players in the world. Look, I'm not a Luka guy. In fact, I think he's a tad overrated at times. But first of all, right now, he's playing out of his mind. He's absolutely a top 5 player in the world right now at this moment. Obviously, still a lot of basketball to be played this year. Your best player, one of the best players in the world, at least a top 10 player in the NBA, was the main reason you were in the finals the previous season. And they was hurt at that time, but that last year when they were healthy, they were playing well. We were one of the best teams in the Western Conference when healthy last year, fresh off of a finals berth. And you didn't shop him around because the fans would lose their minds, which they still ended up doing when you traded him to the Lakers. Is the package was so bad, you traded him because his conditioning concerns, and I get it to an extent, a long extent that he had conditioning problems, was consistently out of shape. But first of all, he was averaging like 28, 8 and 5, whatever the hell he was averaging, even being out of shape. You always knew if he could get himself in shape, this guy can be the best player in all of basketball. That's his ceiling. That's what it is. I don't even like Luka. The conditioning concerns in the past, the defensive concerns, severe limitations he has defensively. If he ever got in shape and worked on his defense, even a smidge, he would be the best player in basketball. He's that talented and that skilled. And you gave up on him for Anthony Davis, an aging, injury-prone power forward. You traded Luka because of conditioning concerns for maybe the most injury-prone big in the league outside of Joel Embiid in Anthony Davis. Max Christie has gotten better over the years. He's an average bench player, I'd say, and then a first-round pick that's still 4 years away. Just a horrific trade. And it's turned out even worse because now we got Anthony Davis who can't stay on the court. He's missed like 85% of the games that he could have played in since he got to Dallas, or he might get traded. Kyrie tore his ACL last year. He still wasn't mega hurt. He might get moved. And just now you have a bunch of other good role players like PJ Washington, who just gave up a huge 4 year extension, like Daniel Gafford, who gave up capital to bring in, like Derek Lively, who traded up to get in the first round 3 years ago. But it means nothing because now in the Cooper Flag, you got the number 1 pick. Whether that was handed to them or was done right is a whole other conversation I won't get into today. He hasn't played super well. He's not shot the ball well. He's playing at that position at point guard because you don't have another point guard because Kyrie Irving is hurt. And what you've done to this roster, and because you trade Luka Doncic to the Lakers for Anthony freaking Davis. Just what a brutal tenure for Nico Harrison, and he set this Dallas Mavericks group that was fresh off of finals berth, but primed to contend for a long time with Luka Doncic at the very least. Good chance they would come out with a championship at some point, and he ruined that. Completely ruined that. Whether you think the NBA had their hands in there, again, whole other conversation. Not going to get into that today, but Nico Harrison is gone. Less than 10 months after making the Luka Doncic trade. And there's been a lot of really bad NBA trades. The Nets trading for Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce when they were past their primes for all those players and all those picks, 2 turned into Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. The Celtics is up there, the worst trade of all time. A few others are up there. Right now, the only one that compares to Luka in terms of the worst trade in NBA history is the Garnett Pierce trade between the Nets and the Celtics. The only one that even compares. Other than maybe that one, I think it's safe to say, even this only this far into it, that the Mavericks trading Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a first rounder in 2029. Still 4 years from now, we're almost a year out since that trade happened, is probably the worst trade in the history of National Basketball Association. Monday Night Football from 2 days ago. Eagles sweep by the Packers in an ugly game, 10-7. Couple of fumbles in the first half. Just very, very sloppy. A lot of offensive mistakes. This game was scoreless at the half. Crazy. Philly was up 3-0 going into the fourth quarter. And then they take a 10-7 lead. And just really bad management from both sides on this one. First of all, so it's 4th and 6. 33 seconds to go. Pretty much right in the middle of the field. They're like on like the Packers like 43-yard line. If he already goes for it, Hurts throws an incomplete pass intended for AJ Brown. You get the Packers a shot to get to field goal range and tie the game. They were not able to do so. Just piss poor management, really on both sides. And like Jordan Love, that thought the Christian Watson was terrible. If he throws that where it should have been, to the sideline side of Christian Watson and not the other side of Watson, I think Watson catches that ball and the Packers at the very least send this game to overtime. We could be having a very different conversation. Hurts threw for 183 yards and a touchdown in the game. Love was even worse. Just 160 yards to get a couple turnovers. Just Green Bay's got some things to work on. 5-3-1. They're in trouble. Jaden Reed is still in injured reserve. Matthew Golden did not play in that game. Tucker Kraft, who's emerged as one of the league's best tight ends, great red zone threat. He's out for the year for torn ACL. They got some issues. The offensive line is taking a bit of a step back this year. They got some injuries. That defense is ferocious, one of the best in the league. Obviously, Micah Parsons being added was a huge pickup. But that offense, they got a lot to work on. And Matt LaFleur, he's not careful. He might get fired. You lost to Cleveland at home, to Carolina at home. They used to Philly, who was a great team, all at home. All three of those games, you did not give up more than 16 points. How is an offense with Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, Matthew Golden, Jane Reed, all these guys, and a couple of these guys are hurt. That an offensive line featuring Elton Jenkins and Jordan Morgan, a first rounder last year, and all these other pieces. How is an offense this bad? How do you have three games? Two of them you should have easily won at home against Cleveland, who sucks, at home against Carolina, who is way worse than you, not a very good team. Even against Philadelphia, Philadelphia's come off a bye. They just brought in a bunch of new players, still working them in, and they're doing issues of their own. With the AJ Brown, you know whatever the hell he's dealing with, and he's also not happy in that offense. That's not the worst team to lose to. They're 7-2. They're one of the best teams in the NFL, defending champions. But like that, like you scored less than 13 points in all these games, then 13 points or less in all these games. Like, like this offense should not be scoring only one touchdown every single game. It's just honestly pathetic. And Green Bay, they're in trouble in that division. The Lions are so elite this year. The Bears have put together a solid season. Even Minnesota isn't horrible. They're hanging in there. AFC's loaded this year. If they're not careful, they'll miss the playoffs. And if I do, heads are gonna roll. We got a new team president coming in. I think LaFleur and Gucknuss, whose contracts are coming up soon. They're both gonna get fired if they miss the playoffs. Hell, if they was in the first round, they might get fired. So Green Bay's gotta be careful. But Philly gets to 7-2 on the season. College football playoff rankings. Home stretch of the college football season. This is what the college football playoff has as of right now. Came out last night. Cincinnati at 25, South Florida, the best group of five team at 24, Tennessee at 23. They dropped 20 there. Well, they moved up to 23rd, being 25th last week. Yeah, Pitt at 22nd, Iowa at 21st, Louisville plummets to 20th, Virginia plummets to 19th, Michigan is 18th, USC is 17th. Yeah, Georgia Tech at 16th, Miami at 15th, Vanderbilt at 14th, Utah at 13th. And the top 12 right now is BYU at 12, Oklahoma at 11, Texas at 10, Notre Dame at 9, Oregon at 8, Ole Miss at 7, Texas Tech at 6, and the top 5 remains 5-1, Georgia, Alabama, A&M, Indiana, Ohio State. Keep in mind, the best group of 5 team, of course, gets an auto bid. But right now in South Florida, they are ranked 24th. And the best ACC team right now is Miami. They are ranked 15th. So they would right now be in. I would assume that means two teams are going to drop out. I assume Oklahoma and BYU. So it will be very interesting down the stretch. What's up with the ACC, though? What the heck? Georgia Tech 2 weeks ago loses to NC State. They looked unbeatable. All right, Virginia's is a solid team. They lose to Wake Forest 16-9. But we got Louisville. They're a solid team. They lose to Cal in overtime at home. Duke is at 5-4. They've lost 3 non-conference games. They lost to Tulane, who's not even a Power 5 team. Got the brakes beat off you by Illinois. You lost to UConn, and they're 5-4, and they might win the ACC. Then we have Duke football at 8-4 after having Clemson in last year at 9-3. Oh my God, that would be just ridiculous. That might end oil bids in college football. The ACC may end oil bids in college football because of how bad they are. And like Miami was the favorite to get in right now. They shouldn't be in. They're not like good. Carson Beck sucks. I don't care what anybody says. That guy blows. But right now, they would be the oil bid for the ACC. As crazy as that is. But let's get to college football game picks. Is week 12 in college football. We got two Friday night games. Clemson against number 15 Louisville. I'm going to take Louisville to bounce back. Should be a pretty good game. But Clemson, obviously, they've been bad this year. Questions surrounding Dabo Swinney's future has been swirling for weeks. Louisville tough loss to Cal. They at home, they get back on the wagon and they get by Clemson. 9 o'clock. 7:30 game is on Fox. 9 o'clock game is on. So 7:30 games on ESPN. 9 o'clock game is on Fox. Number 9, Oregon will host Minnesota. Give me Oregon by a lot. Minnesota is just overmatched. Oregon, not sold on them, but they're ranked in the top 10 right now. Give me the Oregon Ducks to win this game. Saturday slate at noon, we got Wisconsin against number 2 Indiana. Give me Indiana by a lot. Wisconsin's been really bad this year. A lot of people were surprised when they announced Luke Fickell would come back as a coach next season. They're 1-5 in the Big Ten. Indiana with another should win pretty big. I know Penn State isn't a good team. Their team is falling apart. They barely beat them last week, but I think at home Wisconsin just should be a relative blowout. South Carolina against number 3 Texas A&M. Give me A&M. South Carolina isn't very good. They're 1-6 in the SEC, just overmatch. Give me Texas A&M, who has been rolling this year. Number 9 Notre Dame against number 22 Pitt. Very good game. Pitt's pretty solid here, but I'm gonna take Notre Dame. I want to take Pitt and see Notre Dame get knocked. That would be so funny. But I'm gonna take Notre Dame. Pitt is at home, but Notre Dame is just a better team. They run the football really well. They're good defensively. CJ Carr's a good quarterback. I think Notre Dame will get this one done. Number 18, Michigan against Northwestern. Give me Michigan. They're playing well right now, but the freshman quarterback Bryce Underwood, they're playing well. They're ranked 18th right now. Northwestern isn't great. Michigan just overpowers them. Game's actually at Wrigley Field, which is pretty cool in Chicago. That should be a fun experience. But Michigan wins. Uh, South Florida against the Navy. I'm gonna go with South Florida. Cool to see Navy being a very competitive team. The Army Navy is gonna be very good this year. It's gonna be really good. These last 2 years we've gotten some good ones. We'll get another one this year, I think. But I think South Florida wins. I would love to see the Navy win, give them an outside shot, maybe getting to the college football playoff as the Group of 5 team. That would be so cool. But I think South Florida, there's the better football team. I think they will win this game. Arizona against number 25 Cincinnati. I'm gonna take Cincinnati. They're at home. They've had a good year. They're playing well. They're a better team than Cincinnati. I'm in Arizona. Never know in the Big 12 for the most part. But I'll take Cincinnati. 3:30 in the game of the week candidate. Number 11 Oklahoma against number 4 Alabama. I'm gonna take Alabama. Again, it would be crazy to see Oklahoma pull off the upset, but it's in Alabama. Ty Simpson's playing really well. Oklahoma, overall, they've had a good year. They're a good team. They have a shot of getting into the playoff. Alabama is just simply better. They've been better than SEC play. Ty Simpson, ever since that first game against Florida State, has been really good. Well, sold him as an NFL prospect, but as a college quarterback, he's been very good. Give me Alabama. UCF against number 6 Texas Tech. Give me Texas Tech. UCF isn't very good. Texas Tech is playing some great football. Beat the brakes off BYU last week. They should win the Big 12 without that much of an issue, to be honest. They should get in. UCF isn't very good. Give me the Red Raiders in that one. NC State against number 15 Miami. Give me Miami. Again, it would be hilarious if NC State pulls up another ACC upset, knocks Miami out. That would be very Miami-ish, but at Hard Rock, give me Miami. Also at 3:30, number 16, Georgia Tech against Boston College. Give me Georgia Tech. They still got a good shot, I think, of coming out of the ACC. Haynes King has played very well this year, especially what he's been able to do on the ground. Boston College flat out sucks. They're 1-9. Give me Georgia Tech. Got number 21 Iowa against number 17 USC. Should be a tightly contested Big Ten matchup. Give me USC. It's Iowa. They're not going to be able to score enough points. Number 19 Virginia against Duke. This is a big game. If Duke finds a way to win this game, they're favored by 3.5, actually. I'm going to take Virginia. Tough loss last week, really rough, losing 16-9 to Wake Forest, who's unranked. You got to tie the game in the final seconds. That last drive ended very poorly. I'm going to take Virginia. I think they win the game. Duke's been, I mean, I don't know what to think of Duke. They're 4-1 in the ACC. I mean, they're better than they usually are, but still, those three out of conference losses are rough. Give me the Cavaliers to sneak past Duke in this one. Even though it's in Durham, I'll take Virginia. 4:15, we got New Mexico State against number 23 Tennessee. This game is going to be ugly. Tennessee should win by a lot. The chances of getting in are done. They're 6-3. They're barely even ranked, but New Mexico State sucks. Give me Tennessee. 7 o'clock, Florida against number 7 Ole Miss. Give me Ole Miss. I mean, Florida, obviously, coach is already fired. The roster is very talented, but also they have no leadership. Ole Miss has been playing really well. They're at 9-1. Top 10, looking to get into the playoff, which they should do. Give me Ole Miss. Number 13, Utah against Baylor. Give me Utah. Utah should overmatch them. Again, never know in the Big 12. It is in Waco, Texas, but give me Utah to win that game. They're a good team. Obviously, college football playoff is, I don't think they'll get in, but they're right there. 7:30, UCLA against number 1 Ohio State. Who's got these games? It's not even fair. Ohio State's going to blow them to smithereens. Well, not even be close. UCLA sucks. And then we got if Alabama, Oklahoma is up the game in the league, it'll be this one. Number 10 Texas against number 5 Georgia. Give me Georgia. I'm still not sold on Texas. If you asked me a month ago, I said definitely not getting into the playoff. Now they might, but if they lose this game, I don't think they will. I think Georgia, who again, Georgia's not a team I'm sold on either. They're barely getting by in a lot of these games, but I think at home they'll get by the Longhorns in this one. And 10-15, TCU against number 12 BYU. I think BYU wins. TCU isn't horrible, but BYU is a better team. They looked really bad against Texas Tech last week. I think the difference between those two teams, we're the top two teams in the Big 12 right now, is a little wider than people thought. But BYU, they'll be TCU in this game. NFL game picks. Let's get into it. Thursday night football the game tomorrow on Prime. Jets and Patriots in Foxborough. I'm taking the Patriots. This game's going to be ugly. I'm not looking forward to this. On top of I hate the Patriots as a Jets fan and their fans, this game's going to be ugly. The Jets can't pass. They can run the ball, but the Patriots have the best run defense in the entire league. Their bare-bone defense against Drake May, who's been blown out. It's for over 2,500 yards, 19 touchdowns against 5 interceptions. In Foxborough, I don't see how this game doesn't get out of hand relatively quickly. Patriots are favored by 13.5. They're probably going to cover. This game could get ugly. Patriots win. Honestly, the most just thing to do would be to keep this game close and then do something stupid to lose. But I'd honestly rather lose 38-7 at that point, which will probably happen. Sunday, we have another international game. It's in Spain. Might as well play on the moon at this point. Commanders Dolphins. First of all, Commanders Dolphins, really? But I'm going to take... Yikes, I don't even know. I'm going to take the Commanders. Miami's here by 2.5. The Commanders team is just dead with injuries. Looks like it'll be Marcus Mariota again. Still want Terry McLaurin in this game. Miami, they've won a couple games since firing the GM, but both teams are bad. Because Commanders have a good roster, and they're just hurt. Miami flat out sucks, so I'll take Washington in this game. 1 o'clock slate. Panthers, Falcons, give me yikes. I don't even know. Panthers won 30-0 the first time around. They're very inconsistent at 5-5. Falcons just what they put their fans through. We're over the last decade just pathetic. They're 3-6. I'm gonna take Atlanta. Like every time there's like one of these on the fence games for Atlanta, I pick them and they find way to lose just so stupidly. But I'm gonna take the Falcons. The Panthers are very inconsistent. You go into Lambeau and beat Green Bay. Defense holds 13 points. They lose to the freaking Saints last week in Tamara Truck's first ever start. But give me the Falcons at home in a yeek game. Bucks Bills. This should be a good game. I'm gonna take the Bills. They're at home. It's gonna be chilly. Tampa Bay's are playing inside Tampa Bay. Still a bunch of injuries on that squad. No Mike Evans, no Chris Gallen, no Bucky Irving. So I will take the Bills. Injuries starting to kind of catch up to the Buccaneers. Give me the Bills. Though they are pretty fraud with themselves. Texans, Titans. Yikes. Give me Houston. The Titans suck. Cam Moore's look really bad. They can't really run the ball. They have nothing offensively. Defense isn't bad, but the Titans can't score. Not sure who the quarterback is for Houston. I'm not sure it even matters. Davis Mills played pretty well last week, especially in the fourth quarter. Even though the offense is beat up and just not very good overall, the attacking defense is very good, and they'll hold Titans to not a lot of points. Give me Houston. Bears, Vikings, in a big NFC North matchup. I'm going to take the Vikings. Bears, they've been playing well, but the Vikings defense is pretty good. It's one of the better defenses the Bears will have seen in a while. Caleb, sorry, not that good. He's not the guy. JJ McCarthy isn't great either. He has not looked good this year when he's been healthy. He came back to beat the Bears in week 1 in that really ugly game. And I think the Vikings win again at home. Packers and Giants. Give me Green Bay. Jameis Winston is starting for the Giants, so hopefully we get some funny quotes from him, but it's going to be Green Bay. If Green Bay loses this game, smash the panic button over and over and over and over again. Just offense is really struggling, got a lot of injuries, but that Giants defense is a joke. They've underperformed all year. The coach just got fired. Could it spark them? Maybe, but I don't see how they beat the Packers with Jameis Winston. I love Jameis, but just come on. Give me the Green Bay Packers in this game. And they should cover the 7.5. 1 o'clock, Bengals and Steelers. Big AFC North matchup. Ugh. This one is tough. We got another Uncle Bowl between Joe Flacco and Aaron Rodgers. First one, Bengals snuck out of it in the crazy back and forth game. I'll take the Steelers in this one. Should be a close game. I can see Bengals. The line's 5.5. I can see why you took the Bengals in the points, but give me Bengals, Steelers. Bengals. Give me the Steelers beat the Bengals in this game. Should be another very close game. I think in Pittsburgh, Steelers sneak by. Chargers and Jaguars. Give me the Chargers. I don't believe in Jacksonville now. Hunter's out for the year. Ryan Thomas is just a shell of himself. Yeah, they got injuries in the receiving corps. They're just not all that good. The defense sucks. Chargers have a lot of injuries as well. They're starting back remains Kamani Vidal, but he's been pretty good. They got no offensive line with all the injuries that they have. But they're a good defense, even though they're hampered. Give me the Chargers in this game. They're a good team. 4:05 slate. Seahawks and Rams. It's gonna be a really good game. Both teams have been really good. Both 7-2. I'm gonna take the Rams. I'm gonna take the Rams. They're at home. Stafford might be the MVP right now. He's got over 2,400 yards, 25 touchdowns against 2 interceptions. The offense is elite. Defense has been playing well. Seattle's looking really good as well. Sam Darnold's been even better than he was last year, in my opinion. They can run the ball. JSN's been ridiculous. Over 1,000 yards this year already for Jackson Smith-Njigba. That defense has been playing really well. But give me the Rams. Give me the Rams. I have a little more confidence in the Rams. 49ers, Cardinals. Give me the Niners. Cardinals suck. Brissett's obviously their quarterback. But he has played pretty well. Marvin Harrison is out. You got nobody to throw to. They can't really run the ball. The team isn't good. It'll be Mac Jones again, it looks like. He's got enough weapons, even with all the injuries. Give me the Niners. 4:25, Ravens and Browns. Give me the Ravens. Browns are cooked. They're 2-7. They suck. Dylan Gabriel still starts. The Stefanski knows he's getting fired. I don't know if he cares anymore. They're getting healthier. The defense played a lot better. Ravens beat the brakes off them in week 2. I think it was 41-17. It might be something similar. I was like, Ravens covered 7.5. They beat Cleveland. Chiefs Broncos, big game in the AFC West. In Denver. Denver's been incredible at home. They're 5-0. Well, they're barely winning, but they're 5-0. I'm going to take the Chiefs. I know they haven't been what they usually are. They can't really run the ball. Their running game's been really bad, but Mahomes overall has played really well. Chiefs have looked really good since coming back. Denver's defense is elite. I said before, best in the league. No Pat Surtain. still. Best corner in football. And I think they'll hurt them against the Chiefs passing offense. Um, that's going to hurt them. That Denver pass game is so inconsistent. I don't think J.K. Dobbins is playing, which will hurt their running game. I think Denver could be in a little bit of trouble down the stretch here. They'll still make the playoffs. It's too little, too late. But I mean, they're 4 games on the Chiefs in the division. I'm still not counting the Chiefs out of the AFC West. Give me the Kansas City Chiefs. Sunday Night Football. We should get a great game. Lions and Eagles in Philly. I'm gonna take the Lions. I think they pull off a small upset on the road. Philly, just that passing offense is out of whack. The offense in general right now is just out of whack. Saquon is not being used the way he was last year. Hurts and Brown are not on the same page. That defense looks to be relatively fixed. But the Lions have just a myriad of weapons. Dan Campbell took over playing Cole Doobies last week, and they put up 44 on the Commanders. This should be a much better defense in the Eagles, but I think the Lions pull this one out. And Monday Night Football, Cowboys Raiders. You might get another stinker on Monday Night Football. I'm going to pick the Cowboys. Raiders, they're god-awful. They've been pretty poorly coached. A little bit alarming with Pete Carroll, but Gino's been really bad this year. They have no offensive line, which should help, which shouldn't be as bad because Dallas can't really get to the passer. Quinn Williams hasn't really pushed the pocket very well this year. And also, he's their new addition. But both teams aren't great, but the Raiders just a little bit worse. I'll take the Dallas Cowboys to win that game. Okay, let's recap Monday Night Raw, and then we'll take this thing home. So Triple H started the show, got a nice ovation. Of course, he had a very grand introduction for John Cena. And John Cena's last ever appearance in Boston. Still can't believe he's retiring in a month. Can't even wrap my head around it. He's cutting the promo. Then Dom Mysterio comes out. We got a fine speech from Cena, which was great. He basically said, don't test me tonight. We ended up getting an Intercontinental Championship match between Cena and Dom Mysterio, and John Cena defeats Dom Mysterio to win the Intercontinental Championship. The first time in his career he's been the Intercontinental Champion. And with that, John Cena is now like Grand Slam champion, with just such an amazing moment in his hometown. The rubs he got backstage, of course, from Ray, Cody Rhodes, and everybody, just such an amazing moment. The greatest of all time is now the Intercontinental Champion. I'm assuming he's going to lose it relatively soon. He's only got 3 appearances left. I can see him losing it at the Garner or maybe Survivor Series. I don't think he'll take it into his last match, but you never know. It depends who his last match is. Then the last time is now a tournament, which has been done so beautifully so far. Damian Priest against Rusev. Rusev picked up the win. Match was just kind of okay. This is the right winner. Rusev and Cena have some history. They had some grueling U.S. title matches towards the end of Super Cena. Priest has no history with John Cena. He never seen enough really feud with the Judgment Day at all. He wasn't around. So this made sense. Again, the match was kind of but the right man won. Then CM Punk came out and cut a promo. He called out Logan Paul. Logan Paul came out, and then obviously a bunch of stuff just ensued. Looks like that's we kind of what's going to happen for War Games. That having Golden Regal say that backstage was just awesome. I mean, the Women's World Champion Stephanie Vaquer had a match with Raquel Rodriguez. Vaquer picked up the win, solid match, and then afterwards, Nikki Bella turns heel and bashes Vaquer at the world title. I'm excited for this. Obviously Nikki Bella. Obviously, she's been back. She's back after not being, not she hadn't been full time in forever. She's already in the Hall of Fame 5 years ago. But she and Nikki Bella, people forget what a menace she was. I'm very excited for this. See where this goes. Last time now tournament had another match: Shinsuke Nakamura against Sheamus. Sheamus wins. Very good match. Typical Sheamus, putting on a great performance. Again, this is the right decision. Cena and Sheamus back in the day have a lot of history, had a lot of great matches. They've had tag matches. Like I think it could be awesome if Cena drop a title to Sheamus, the IC title, if he were taken into his title into his last match. That would be a lot of fun. Nakamura again, they don't really have any history. So right man won. That was a good match, another great match as always. And then it was announced. We got The less time is now tournament continuing. It's going to be Javon Evans, NXT, who is just incredible. He's going to take on a returning Gunther. So I won't talk about this. I like Gunther. I'm a fan. I think he's one of the best talents they have. A lot of people were saying that's be his last match. How do they want it done? I don't think Gunther should be his last opponent. I don't think it makes any sense. This is why. To me, it should either be he does like a fight someone like one last time, whether that's the Miz or Sheamus. If it's not gonna the stars are going to align, but Roman Reigns would be a lot of fun. Do that one more time. Or someone he has some sort of history of. He's feud with to some to at some point to this point, like Drew McIntyre. If Seth Rollins wasn't on the mend, that would make a lot of sense. Um, but or he puts over a young guy like a Javon Evans, or people throw up the name Joe Hendry. I know some people might not like that. I think that would be awesome, especially since he's going to be officially in WWE sooner rather than later. He's basically full time on NXT at this point. I think that would be great. I think it'd be great if he put over Ethan Page. I think it'd be great if he put over Obafemi. If it's Obafemi, it's not going to be Obafemi. But if it was, oh my God, that would probably go down with my personal favorite wrestling match that I've ever watched. I love both of those guys. So I would love to see Javon Evans win. He's not going to do it. Gunther is one of the best guys they have. He last time you saw him was at SummerSlam. He lost the world title to CM Punk. You got to build him back up. He's not going to lose his match to a guy who has one career match on the main roster. No, I would love to see it, but I'm not going to have him. I do not think it should be his last opponent. If it is, I won't be super, super upset, especially if that's what Cena wants, but um, I don't really think it makes a lot of sense because they have no history together, Gunther and Cena. And there's no, and if Cena beats him, it's like now you kind of kill Gunther, and he's one of your best talents, so that wouldn't make any sense. And yeah, if Gunther wins, the way you could do it, have him, obviously have him pass out to the sleeper. Never give up. He didn't actually give up. Gunther can, be like, this big bad killer. He retired Goldberg, he retired Cena. Um, but there's other ways to build him back up. You don't have to do it this way. Like you could have him lose to somebody in this tournament, and he'll still be fine. And Solo Sikoa against a mystery opponent. So remember, Solo and him had that little short feud. He's gonna get a mystery opponent. This Friday on SmackDown, LA Knight's fighting a mystery opponent as well. I thought one of these mystery guys would be Gunther. Obviously, it's not. So we'll see what happens. Very, very excited. Women's tag team title match. This is the main event. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss against the Kabuki Warriors. The Kabuki Warriors win. They are your new women's tag champions. I don't mind them winning at all. I love those two together, Asuka and Kairi Sane. I don't like how they did it with having like Nia Jax and Lash Legend distract them. Can we stop it with Nia Jax? And I like Lash Legend. She's got some talent. She's been great in NXT, but pairing her with Nia Jax, what the hell is that going to do for her? Nia Jax is talentless. I'm why she's still on the roster. However, afterwards we had an all-out attack, and Io Sky came back to try and help out. Obviously, she's been feuding with her former friends slash family, Asuka and Kairi Sane. But then Rhea Ripley comes out and she screams War Games. That's what the women's War Games will be. So right now, what we have is Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Charlotte Flair, and Alexa Bliss. The heel team right now looks like Nia Jax, Lash Legend, and the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane. I assume each team will get one more person added. The men's side, remember, Survivor Series is November 29th. That is in 2.5 weeks. It's the Saturday night. It will be in San Diego, so the normal start time, I believe 7 p.m. Eastern time. The men's team, the face team, right now, Pennsylvania looks like CM Punk, Jey Uso are definitely penciled in. The heels, definitely, but both of the bronze. You can also pencil in Logan Paul, it looks like. Logan Paul, whatever. As for my guesses, I can see Drew McIntyre being on the heel team. I wonder if I can see even Aleister Black being on the heel team. The face team, that's where it gets interesting. I think LA Knight could be a part of that group. Um, I wonder, could it be John Cena? I really think he should have just a singles match, but I think the door is open for John Cena. Other than that, gonna see how it goes. Every year they kind of make the first few relatively kind of they do a segment like they did this past Monday for both the men and the women. And they have like one or two be a surprise, like they did with the when he had the Bloodline Civil War. You had CM Punk and Bronson Reed be the surprises. So we will see where they go with this, but there'll definitely be a surprise on each team, at least one, both the men's and the women's War Games matches. That's all I got for you guys today. Till next time, so long. Have a great day.